Hello, I am going to talk about the frontal lobe of the brain, and I'm going to explain where it's located, what it does, and I'm also going to include some examples of how it affects our daily life. So the frontal lobe is located at the front of the brain. It is right behind the forehead, and it sits in front of the parietal lobe and is above the temporal lobe. It is the largest out of the four lobes of the brain. If you touch your forehead, it's roughly about where the frontal lobe begins in your skull. It is like the control center of the brain. It's responsible for problem solving, reasoning, decision making, and planning. So when you decide what math problem you want to solve or how you're going to solve the math problem or how you're going to plan your day, the frontal lobe is hard at work in planning that. It also controls a voluntary movement, which means every time you move your arms, legs, or anytime you make a facial expression, the frontal lobe is sending signals to your muscles. It also plays a huge role in speech production, which is the ability to talk clearly and express one's thoughts. Another important function is the emotional regulation and the personality. It helps us control impulses, how to manage our emotions, and behave appropriately in social situations. Damage to the frontal lobe can cause so many problems. It can cause so many abilities, such as decision making, emotional, and it can make the emotional control more difficult. So, in summary, the frontal lobe is at the front of the brain and it acts as the brain's executive center. It helps us think, speak, move, regulate one's emotions. All right, thank you for watching.